So it finally happened. Our tiny house arrived. It was very exciting and exhausting at the same time. So here we are the day before. We were on a trip to get some groceries when we received a call that the house was only about 1 kilometer away and they'd like to unload. That was unexpected.
Holy shit. So, slight chaos emerged. The house, as you can see, is already very close to us. The second vehicle already arrived at our home and told us that they want to set up the house today, which is actually not possible because the crane isn't here so far. But yeah, we figured out where the house is now. Yeah. Slight chaos. We will see how it goes. We call the transportation company. They reassured us. That everything goes as planned. So let's see.
As planned here means that the crane would be built up in the afternoon and the house should arrive at night. We needed to do it in this exact order because our street is quite narrow. In fact, it is so narrow that we had to remove our neighbor's fence and also cut down some branches of neighboring trees. We were super lucky that everyone was okay with that. The fence was a bit more problematic though. We disassembled it, but its metal posts are cast in concrete, so we had to cut these off and ask a company to weld them back on afterwards. It worked out well, but sadly my camera decided to take a nap in the midst of the process. At around 4 o'clock, the crane arrived. And let me tell you, it was huge. It's a 220 tons crane from WiP, as far as I know. And it had to come really close to the neighboring house, so the lift distance would be as small as possible. Luckily, my parents are said neighbors, so I could film from the roof window, and also it's not a big deal that the crane parked super close in front of that house. The crane can't carry its own counterweight, so you can see some trucks come and go here. They bring the weight elements and also some planes for the crane feet. And piece by piece, the crane then lifts these weight elements on his back. Overall, getting the crane ready took about 3 hours. And yeah, we really needed a crane that size. The lifting distance was around 28 meters and the house weighs around 15 tons. And a bigger crane would not have fitted in that street. So these constraints were essential when we planned the position of our house on the property. And to be honest, there was not much to plan. There was basically one spot where we could put it. After the crane finished building up, the really nerve-wracking part started. Would the house fit into the street? Would the craning work out? We got a call that the truck would start the last 1 kilometer journey at around 11:30. And we could even see that happen. From my parents' house, there's a side connection to the road stop where the truck parked over the day. And precisely at 11:30, we could see some lights blinking that slowly started moving. Sadly, I have no camera that was able to pick up these little tiny lights in the distance. But now we knew it could only take a few minutes until the truck would be in our street. So we walked out and took a look. And actually we patrolled the street every hour or so, so that no car would accidentally park in the way. We found one car that might be in a problematic spot, and also we could not find the owner, and that made us really nervous. But then the truck arrived, and man, it was really fast. But getting into our street was really tricky, even with the cut-off fence. We still got stuck a little bit on one of the trees. And also one of the fastening straps once got caught up on a fence stump. But the driver was a real champ, and after some minutes of maneuvering, he parked our house next to the crane. We were really excited and tired, but we wanted to take a teeny tiny peek inside, and the Koda Loft comes wrapped with heat shrink foil. Yeah, right, heat shrink, like a cable. That must have been so difficult to put on. When they wrapped it, it was about minus 20 degrees in Tallinn, Estonia. And by the way, the house is transported via a ferry from Estonia to Germany and then by truck on the highway to us. So that heat shrink foil has a zipper door. Behind that you enter the terrace and there you can find the lifting belts for the craning and also the keys. When we first entered the house, it felt like home. We were in very close contact with Koda SEMA the whole time, and we received lots of cool photos and videos during the building process.
Hallo Büro. Ja, verrückt. Das haben wir halt nur auf Bildern gesehen. Und dann halt nur den Rahmen damals gehabt. Da war nichts drin.
Cool, dann schauen wir mal, wie es morgen weitergeht. In the next morning at 8 o'clock, the craning started. Man, I've never been so nervous in my entire life. We lost a bit of time because at first the craning company wanted to lift the house in a different way, but we decided against it and we attached the belts in the way that Koda SEMA suggested in their documents. And if you look closely, you can see green marks on the bottom of the house. These marks show where the belts should go, because underneath the wrap there are extra wood blocks that protect the house. And another set of protective wood parts are also attached on the top side of the house. When the crane lifted the first few centimeters, you could hear a bit of crackle. I guess it's from the stretching belts. That felt really scary. But as soon as the house was floating, everything went really, really fast. Some neighbors had to leave their houses while the Koda was lifted over them. Safety first. But then the crane panned around and carefully brought the Koda over to our concrete point foundations that we prepared. The last few centimeters were important. We had a person stand on each edge and measure the distance to the foundation. 15 centimeters should be on each side. It felt a bit weird how little force is needed to push a hanging 50-ton house around. But then the house was pushed into its correct place and it slowly hovered down the last few centimeters, and there it is, our new home. All the stress and anxiety suddenly vanished, and I had a little cry on my boyfriend's shoulder. And after that, I was just happy and very, very tired.
Sehen Sie YouTubern bei der Arbeit zu. Hey and welcome to the maybe biggest unboxing ever.
After a quick breakfast break, we started unwrapping. First, the protective wood parts need to come off. The foil is quite thick and maybe I should have bought a few more cutting knives, but after a big cut around the house, we could pull down the whole thing in one go. And last but not least, there's some extra protection on the side window that we configured. Also, you can see that the two bottom rows of wood covering are missing. They are removed for transport and are stored on the roof. Alright, I'm sure you're excited to get a proper look inside, right? So let's do a little walkthrough. Hey everyone, so I think it's time for a little room tour in here. Let's first properly close the door. That's a fun thing, by the way. The Estonian or Northern European countries have these fun handles that close when you pull them up. that was new to me. This is our living room now. Have a look around. It smoothly transforms into the kitchen, and we currently have a little sideboard in here with a television. My partner Silvan built this really nice TV board in here. Nice mezzanine, so that's the first room. A nice detail maybe are the nice LED light stripes you can see in the edges over there. They make a very nice and indirect lighting. I like them a lot. Maybe let's have a little peek into the kitchen. Not that tiny actually, I'd say, for the house size, and you have a lot of storage room. Of course, you have like typical drawers in here, a tiny dishwasher over here, and a nice detail that I like very much are these turnable shelves. Like my grandma had similar ones and I loved them. They are very cute and you can pull them out quite far. So you have a lot of storage in here, a little fridge, then here, oven and microwave, and a lot more storage on that side. So I think that's actually plenty of room for a tiny house, and I'm really looking forward to cooking on a new induction stove. And by the way, that's the kitchen, how it comes pre-built. There's nothing we inserted here. This is everything that comes. Everything you need, I'd say, a little toilet, a little shower. So integrated into the kitchen is this little staircase that comes up to this mezzanine space over here. We have a really great look outside of the window. This is really nice. Have a look. In that little corridor there is enough space to put a full-sized washing machine in here. That's the second room. And the second room will be used as our office space. A tiny little vacuum robot already has settled in. The nice thing about Koda is that you can ask them a lot of extra questions on what you want to have changed, and in our case we wanted to have a lot of extra network wiring. The floor is the main heating areas, like the electric. We have these little thermostats in every room, so you can just set the room temperature there for each room, and also independently for the bathroom. We have not really moved in yet so much because we are still missing on the full electric connection and the water connection, but I hope this will happen in the next few weeks, and then I'd say maybe we will see us again in a year maybe in this house, or maybe half a year, and see how it is to live in a Koda. Thanks for watching. Bye.